All right, so I'm just gonna do a quick range test. It says these can go about 300 feet or 100 meters. So the end of my driveway there is pretty much bang on to about 300 meters from where the camera is. So I'm just gonna walk. I'll probably have to walk backwards at some point just to make sure this is in range still. So let's test it out. I'm still walking, still talking. Hopefully you can still hear me. I'm probably approaching about the 100-foot mark right about now. Not too bad, you can probably still hear me. It's also a fairly windy day out, so we'll see how good of a job this does at blocking noise. It did actually come with some dead cats, which is pretty handy. Turn around here, probably at the 200 feet, maybe a little over. Hopefully you can still hear me. You can see I'm pretty far away. Just about to approach that 300-foot mark. I'm gonna turn around, approaching the 300-foot mark, going a bit further just to see if it can go even further. Check, check, check. There's some cars coming. All right, I'm gonna start walking back, hitting the 300-foot mark again. Hopefully you can hear me. Nice breeze passing through, so we'll see how this sounds without a dead cat. If this ended up being a big failure, I'll end up redoing this with a dead cat on. So bear with me if it's not. So hopefully you heard all that. I'm gonna go back in here in a minute and see how this recorded. So far, I am liking these things. They're just like the other microphones you've probably seen. They're a lot similar to the Rode style ones. Let's go check and see how these did. All right, so really quick, I just want to do a quick audio comparison between a couple microphones. Right now, this is the internal microphone on the Sony a7S III. This is a cheap $25 wired lavalier microphone off Amazon. These are the Hollyland wireless lav microphones that I use often. And these are the Comica wireless BoomX-D microphones. Let me know in the comments below which one you think sounded the best. Okay, so I've got to use these mics for about a week now, week or so, and there's a few things I would like to touch on. I'm gonna start with the stuff I don't like, simply because a lot of these wireless mics, a lot of similar features these days, you know, they're all working on the same lightweight, rechargeable, and they just want it to be fast. The obvious one for me is the size. I'm used to the Hollyland microphones. They're really small and really fast, really easy to use. These ones, they're a little bigger, a lot harder to hide, and a little longer setup time. They do make up for the size factor though, because they include some extra wired microphones and obviously the option to plug in a wired microphone as well. That way it's easier to hide the transmitter and the microphone underneath the clothing. And honestly, that actually usually results in a better sound most of the time anyways. They also don't have a swivel clip. I love when the clip on the back can actually swivel, because that just makes rigging options a lot easier. When people are wearing button-up shirts, I like to mic it from the side, and with this, the microphone's just gonna point that way or that way, which would obviously just be easier if they included a swivel clip. I also don't love the plastic. It feels cheap. Although it works really well and like it's built nicely, it feels like if I did drop this hard, it might break, and I'm not gonna do that test for you right now. So I've already mentioned the extra wired microphone that it comes with, and you've already seen the range capabilities of this thing. But some of the other features are, it actually sounds really great. It's a really low noise microphone. You get the ability to change the gain controls up and down, which is super handy, but by far, the best feature is the screen. Not only can you see if you're peaking or not, but you can see each separate gain controls while seeing each separate volume controls as well, which is so helpful. I can't even stress how helpful that is. Last but not least, the case is actually super handy. It's a nice zip-up case. It's not quite as small as the Lavalier microphones, but it's not that much bigger, so it's a super nice size. But the best part about it are these fitted slots for each transmitter and the receiver. They just fit in nicely, which is great. And this little pouch up here is super handy for keeping all those extra accessories in. Some other ones I've used, these top pouches don't work really well, but I've had no problems with this one. Holds everything in nicely. Definitely don't sleep on the case. All right, so what do I think about these, and do I think you should buy them? Nowadays, there's so many options for wireless lav microphones. It is tough to find a good one that sets itself apart from others. Like I said before, I've been using the Hollyland Lark M1 microphones for a while now, and I do really like them, but there are some features missing on it that I do love on this one. For instance, I miss having a screen, which these have, and I do miss having the capabilities to have an external microphone, which these have. So if the size doesn't bother you and you don't mind spending the extra $100 or so, if you're a fan of the Rode Wireless Go setup, I think this is one of the better budget-friendly options on the market. Right now, there's so many options available for these wireless lav microphones. They really do cater to the situations you're going to be using them in. For instance, I still don't love the size of this. It's tough for me to hide, but given it has the option to have the external wired microphone, you do get peace of mind knowing you'll be able to hide this thing no matter what. So if you're finding that you struggle to hide these things often, I would go for an option that gives you the external microphone, making this a pretty good option. So, hope you like this video. Let me know some of your favorite wireless microphone setups right now, because I know there's so many options available. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I got lots of content coming this year, so stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.